like money, motherfucker? Money be green. Money feel like money. That shit look green to you?
Now, we got to go to a fight that could potentially be, and I think it's going to be fight of the year, Bryan. It's one for, you might say for the nerds, but I think if you're a boxing fan, you're going to love this one. It's going to be a banger. Subriel Matías and Jeremias Ponce. This one, Matías, a minus 400 on the money line. And then you got Ponce at a plus 270. He's the underdog on the money line. Bryan, who are you rolling with? And by the way, thank you for teaching me how to say the names, with a little bit of authenticity and not butchering it.
Subriel Matías and Jeremias Ponce, from my understanding. My Spanish is a work in progress as well, despite me being Puerto Rican, but that's a complicated subject that we can get into another time.
We will get into it.
Speaking of being Puerto Rican, Subriel Matías is in this fight, and that's like, I'm super excited because I feel like Puerto Rico's going to have another world champion. And very few things excite me more than yet another Puerto Rican becoming a world champion in boxing. This motherfucker is scary, okay? He's 18-1 with 18 knockouts. He is one of the absolute hardest punchers at 140 pounds, and that includes Regis Prograis. That includes just anybody in that division. I actually would love to see him fight Regis Prograis at some point this year. We may or may not have somebody in the show coming up who might have something to say about that. But we can get to that perhaps later in a future episode that won't be too far down the line. But in terms of sizing this up, he's scary in the pocket. He can hit you from distance a little bit, but he is so good at pressure fighting and really wears you down and breaks you down over the course of the fight. He did it to Malik Hawkins. He did it to a whole bunch of guys he's fought against. And then Jeremias Ponce, skilled, talented, not as many fights as you'll find on YouTube because he hasn't been on TV as much, but he has a nice win over Louis Ritson, which is probably his best one, over in the UK. And is 30-0 with 20 knockouts, though. Resume, I mean, not tremendous. You would say Matías has a better resume here. And then in going on to the actual betting portion of this, for me, I've been saying that Subriel Matías would knock out Jeremias Ponce for months. And this fight has been in limbo for a long time. It was supposed to happen at some point in the summer. It got pushed to October on the Deontay Wilder card. Then there was a visa issue with Ponce. Then it got pushed back again. And then Subriel apparently said that I'm going to make him pay for that through a translator. I'm going to make him pay for making me wait because he wants to become a fucking world champion already. And I think he's 30 or 31. So he's like, yo, let's get this shit on the road. Subriel by knockout, minus 160 on FanDuel, minus 170, minus 180 in other places. I would say jump on the price now before it gets to minus 200 because I could see that happening before fight night or something very close to that. He's going to win by knockout. I'm confident in this. If he doesn't, then I'm going to be very stunned. And it's rare that, because look, this is betting and this is boxing. Yeah. Anything could happen. And I'm not, look, no one over here is batting 1,000 with their bets, but this is one that I feel confident in. And then I have some like actual money on him, not just doing this for the sake of the show. So I would say that he's going to win by knockout. And I think he can potentially do so early as well.
Yeah, and we should also mention that last week Bryan was 2-0, I was 1-1, so we should keep that record going throughout this. But nobody is batting 1,000. For me, listen, you kind of broke it all down there. Matías, we know that he's a pressure type of fighter, likes to fight in the middle of the ring, and he's got heavy hands, and his power is real. He's got this devastating power, and he likes to walk you down. And I don't know what's up with him, but he doesn't get tired. His stamina is crazy. This guy could run a marathon, come into the ring, knock your ass out, and then go back and run another marathon.
Okay, he also has a chin too, which is very important to know.
He's got a crazy chin. So going back to that chin, because his one loss was a decision loss against Petrus Anayan in a fight where they actually had a rematch. And then Subriel Matías came back in that one, landed a big right hook with power, got the victory in the 9th round. And that was a fight where people said that he was going through some things outside of the ring. So he wasn't actually himself, but he has been down before in that first Anayan fight. I think he was in the 7th round. And that was just a fight where like he just didn't seem like himself. But the thing is, he will trade with you. And Ponce, right? He's at his best when he's walking down his opponents. He's overwhelming you with punches as well. He does have power punches and he throws with power, but he doesn't have that devastating type of power that Subriel Matías does. But it's like the same type of style where they like to overwhelm you. They like to come forward and yeah, they like to be aggressive with you in the ring. And 20 of those wins for Jeremias is 20 of those 30 wins are by knockout. So like he has decent power, but it's not that devastating one where, you know, you could see it with the eye test where you're like, whoa, that's crazy power. Cause I feel like Matias has that. He's also on a 3-fight KO streak. Keep that in mind. He doesn't have any like major names on the resume, as Bryan was saying, but the one edge that I think he does have is the height and reach advantage. The thing about this fight though, is that I think if Jeremias Ponce wants to win this fight, he's going to have to outbox him, right? Because you don't
Good
want
luck with that.
well, that's the thing. He's going to have to outbox him because, and that's not really Ponce's style. Ponce's style is like being the aggressor, being in the middle of the ring, throwing hands, but you don't want to trade with a guy like Subriel Matías because like I said, he's going to run a marathon, come back in, knock you out, go back, run a marathon, and then probably have like a victory party. But Jeremias Ponce, I wouldn't sleep on him. Like I like the odds of him on the money line, like a plus 270.
Sure.
But the thing about it is both of these guys fought, I believe, Jonathan Jose Ennis. And Ennis knocked down Ponce in the 3rd round. And Matias finished Ennis in like 5 rounds. And I just go back to that fight. And you can't really judge a fighter off one fight because you never know what they're going through. But I think Matias has the power. It's devastating. I'd give him the edge in the resume. I also give him the edge in having a better chin because just as much as he throws hard, he takes a hard punch to the chin as well. And if Ponce wins, he wants to outbox him, but he's better when he's the aggressor and coming forward and, you know, overwhelming you with punches. But like I said, you don't want to trade with a guy like Subriel Matías because he's got those heavy hands and Ponce's chin a little bit sus. I'm just gonna throw that in there. I've got Matias winning by knockout, and I looked on FanDuel, and if you go, because I have him winning in the middle rounds 5 through 7, so by knockout on FanDuel, it's a minus 160. Alternate round betting though, I'm taking Subriel Matías to win rounds 5 through 8 plus 230.
Okay,
which
so
value there.
That was something I looked at, and I could double back on that. So the fight against Jonathan Jose Ennis, I just want to mention, Ponce was in his hometown. Ennis, so people who, because if you heard that name, you're like, who the fuck is that? Look, me too, honestly, because he was 25, 13, and 1 going into that fight. And Ponce eked out a decision, unanimous decision, but scorecards were 96, 93, 96, 92, and 95, 94. And you don't want to be doing that against a journeyman. So the prop that I like, if we're going, because I'm obviously going to go Subriel by knockout, just straight up, minus 160. Why not? That's a pretty good number for something that I think is actually going to happen. But on FanDuel, since we're using their odds, Subriel's knockout in the alternate, that was funny that you laughed at that. We're going to leave that there, but like, you know, there's an inside joke around there somewhere. Alternative group round betting 1, which is my favorite. You got Subriel to win by knockout between rounds 1 and 6 and 7 through 12. Before, 1 through 6 was plus 220 and 7 through 12 was plus 170. Now it's plus 210 for 1 through 6 and plus 180, 7 through 12. I jumped on 1 through 6 when it was plus 220. That's coming down a little bit. I think potentially this can be not super early, but I think it could be a little bit early, even though like Ponce might hang around because, you know, Subriel, he knocks everybody out, but he also doesn't do it all like early in the fight. It's kind of like a breaking you down, and then he gets to do his last couple fights. The Jukambayev one, if you want to look up like who he really is, look up that fight because that was a war. He got rocked a couple times and came back and just won that fight by making him retire on the stool after the 8th round. In fact, his last 3 wins were all guys that he made retire on their stool, 2 of whom were undefeated in rounds 9, 8, and 6 respectively. So yeah, I think this is going to be potentially early because like you said, you know, Ponce is going to try to bang with him, and I think that's going to be a mistake.
I like 5 through 8. I like rounds 5 through 8 because I don't want to take, because Jeremias Ponce is a really, really good boxer, but against Matias, like it's stylistically, it's a really good matchup, but Matias just has the power, and Ponce has to get away from what he's normally good at fight off the back foot, which he's good at, but he has to outbox him. And it's like, that's not your strength. Your strength is like banging on the inside, overwhelming guys. And it's just like, you want to do that against Subriel Matías. Nonetheless, this one is going to be a banger. Fight of the year. Let us know how you're going to bet it. Drop some comments below. Also, remember to follow us on our social media platforms. You'll see in the ticker below the ways that you can connect with us. And nonetheless, I also want to mention, if you got a couple of minutes, leave a rate and review. Let us know how we did. And also, we're going to keep track on our record. So for this betting session for Money Be Green, we both have Jake Paul by knockout. And you're taking Subriel Matías by knockout. Are you taking alternate round betting?
So we're both taking this is going to be a 3-bet sort of thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we both took Jake Paul by knockout. We both have Subriel by knockout. But for the tiebreaker is going to be, I have him rounds 1 through 6, and you're putting 5 through 8.
5 through 8
for the purposes of this show. Now we could still both be right if this is in round 5 or 6, but we'll see what happens. I think I'm probably going to put money on both and
sprinkle, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to actually do that.
Yeah, we're both thinking, though, that Matías is going to get the knockout. Let us know if you think he's going to get the knockout. And most importantly, leave a rate and review. If you're listening to this, it's real quick. Just hit the 5 stars real quick. We'll also be back with some more betting stuff throughout the week. Thank you so much for rocking with us, and we'll be back soon.